Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving into the 19th day since Lilly and Jack Sullivan went missing. This one here is one of the most mysterious cases I have ever heard of, and it just doesn't make any sense how a 6 and a 4-year-old just wandered off and have never been seen or heard from since. I've left it a few days hoping that the police would give us an update, hoping that maybe there would be something that would lead us to finding these two young children, but nothing. Absolutely nothing. After 19 days, we are here, and according to what's being said, the search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan is over.
The search for missing Jack and Lilly Sullivan is over, and the volunteers say that they found nothing. 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack have now been missing for more than 2 weeks from this location in Pictou, Nova Scotia, Canada. Now, searchers had scoured the woods behind their home for 6 days before finally saying they were scaling back. Police had announced, however, on Friday that they were going to reopen the search. They were getting volunteers to search areas along the road where Lilly and Jack's home was. About 100 volunteers showed up, and they searched the woods along the roadside for 2 full days. So they searched all Saturday and all Sunday. There was absolutely no word as to what sparked this search again, but police said that they were doing air and ground searches for the full weekend. This is the statement that was released by the RCMP, saying that the ground and air search efforts were being conducted along the road in Pictou County, Nova Scotia for Lilly and Jack. They also did confirm that on May 8th and 9th, the RCMP underwater recovery team scoured bodies of water that were around Lansdowne Station, that is where the children were living, and no evidence was found. If you are looking for updates on the search, the Truro and Colchester Code 1 coverage on Facebook has wonderful coverage of exactly what's been going on with the search. Amy Hansen, who was one of the searchers that was there this weekend, said that conditions were not ideal for this search at all. She said it was rainy and cold and that there were a ton of black flies and ticks. And she also said that the forest is so dense due to the hurricane and trees falling and things like that, that it's extremely dangerous and hard for people to get through. She said the search went as well as it possibly could, but she was unaware of them finding anything of significance in the missing children's case. Investigators and search managers are apparently now reviewing and assessing the weekend search, and they're going to figure out what next steps need to be taken. The RCMP also gave a statement saying, "We extend our sincere appreciation to the search and rescue volunteers who have selflessly given up to 10,000 hours of their time since the search began. Their tireless commitment in truly grueling conditions is appreciated by both the RCMP and the greater community." The children's mother and her family claim that they've been told by police not to talk to media anymore, but the stepfather does continue to share. He also gave this statement on Saturday saying, "I'm just hoping for something positive, a positive outcome that's bringing the kids home. That's the main goal here. It's the main goal. It's just to find the truth." There are a lot of rumors and speculation in this case, but right now police are not sharing if they have any leads or what those leads are. But if you're interested, I will definitely continue to update, so make sure you hit follow.
She said there, the parents have been advised against speaking to the media, which doesn't make any sense to me. However, the stepfather, he continues to speak to the media. It seems like he's extremely concerned. We don't know how Malaya, the mother, is feeling at this moment in time. She's moved on. She's left the stepfather behind. She's no longer with him. She's ready to meet a new man, according to her Facebook account. What we're going to do next is just take a look at the landscape, look at their area in more detail, outside the home, in and around the home, just to give ourselves a clearer understanding of what the kids were thinking and where they would have possibly went. That pinpoint is their home address, Scarlock Road. And as we can see straight away, loads of trees. Looks like a secluded area. Nothing going on over here. Pretty empty. We're about to zoom in. Here we go. And as we said, trees, woodland. Nothing much happening. We've got this main road here with no pathway. Doesn't really look like pedestrians would walk down there. I mean, it looks like it would be extremely unsafe at night. What type of animals would you have out here at night? Anyway, this is the property. And as I said to you guys in a previous video, it's only about 50 to 100 meters, you know, the length of this road. It's not that long. Their scent stops at the top of the road, disappears from there. Some people have said it's because that's where the school bus picks them up from. I mean, that's one logical reason. But the other logical reason could be that they got into a car or they were put into a car. Because it just makes no sense how a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old would have walked through that forest or up this road. And if they did walk up this road, how no one would have seen them. So again, just loads of trees, not much going on there. Someone said, did they go the other way? Did they walk through the woods? The stepfather, he believes they would have walked through the woods, because he mentions that Lilly took her backpack with her. It was a white backpack and it would have been brown by now, assuming she walked through the woods. What about the footprint? Was there a footprint found? Has it been identified to belong to one of the children? Were there multiple footprints found? There's no real clarity on that. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, there is no evidence to prove those kids walked through that woods. There's no evidence to prove that those kids walked up this road. The scent disappears at the top of the drive. I mean, the only thing that's starting to make sense to me, something happened and the parents put them in a car, drove them somewhere. The police are searching this woods, scouring this whole area. They're not going to find anything because the kids were put into a car and taken elsewhere. It doesn't make sense how a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old wandered off and left no evidence and haven't been seen or heard from since. No witnesses, no nothing. And according to the last lady, they're now calling off the search.
I find it really strange that every time I talk about a missing child's case and I'm going through the language of the parents and I'm telling you that they don't seem to be acting properly. They don't seem to be doing the things that suffering innocent parents do, and that their stories just don't add up. You guys love to tell me that it's because they're neurodivergent. Is everyone neurodivergent? Anyone whose kids go missing, all of a sudden they're neurodivergent because their interviews make no sense? I want you to think about it. Think about Madeline Soto case, Sebastian Rogers case, Summer Wells case. Think about Chris Watts, that psycho. He was super obvious though. Sometimes people are hiding something. Sometimes they're working from a script. Sometimes they are lying. And in those cases I just mentioned, that's what I'm seeing. And that's what I'm discussing. I'm reading people and I'm trying to critically think about their stories and the timeline and the crime scene. And I'm not a reporter at all. I'm just talking about
none of it's making sense. And that's the bottom line here. That's what she's getting at. Now, in this case, we're not saying that foul play has taken place because we don't know where these kids are. We don't know what has happened. But this one right here is extremely mysterious to the point we're going into the 19th, 20th day, and a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old who just wandered off in a secluded area, surrounded by trees, has not been found or seen since. And when you listen to both the accounts of the parents, the stories and the narrative that they've given us, it doesn't entirely add up. Then you look at human behaviors, understanding the human behavior and how it works. That then leads you to understanding how the mind's working and how they're thinking. In this case, the mum's behavior has made many people suspicious.
Up on 3 weeks that these kids have been missing from Nova Scotia, Canada. And I just want to say that I honestly don't think they're ever going to be found. And I'm sure that's going to piss a lot of people off, but that's honestly what I think. They've been doing these searches on the land, in the air, in the water. And what have they found? Really nothing. So look, I've been saying since day one, this case is really suspicious. But did you guys see this from last week? This is from CBC News. It says here in the middle, Michelle Genis, an associate professor in the Criminal Justice Department at University of Louisiana at Lafayette, said the facts of the case and apparent lack of evidence makes it an anomaly. It doesn't meet a lot of the normal criteria for what we would see for these types of cases. Usually there's evidence in some way that would suggest something nefarious has happened. It mirrors those adult missing person cases where we call it quiet disappearances. There's no evidence. And a few details stand out to Genis as unusual, including the children's absence from school that week. She said it could just be incredibly bad timing that they had 48 hours unaccounted for before the disappearance, but that's just one of the things that stands out in my head.
So there was 48 hours unaccounted for before their disappearance. If something did happen within those 2 days, it means that both parents were involved in whatever happened. Mentioned to me that the stepfather is covering up for the mum. He was covering for the mum before she decided to leave him. Now he can't backtrack because he's put himself in the thick of it. If he backtracks and contradicts himself, he makes himself a little guilty. We also have to bear in mind that he isn't the biological father to these 2 missing kids, but she is, Malaya, that is, she is the biological mother. So if she's done something to technically own kids, and he loves, the stepfather loves the mother, before this breakup, before this split up, it is possible that he could have been manipulated into covering this all up with her, allegedly. This is all alleged. This is just me theorizing based on the information that we're going through as we record.
Gina says she believes police should be considering whether a person played a part. In a stereotypical kidnapping by a stranger, the offender doesn't usually target a specific child or children. They create a plan, and whoever is in the environment at that time falls victim. It doesn't seem like that would be the case here because what we know is that they were in their backyard in a rural community. So it's not like they were walking to school or to the gas station or something where it would be an easy snatch situation. So if it was a stereotypical stranger kidnapping, it would have had to have been somebody who said, I want those kids in particular. And Michael Arntfield, a criminologist at Western University in London, Ontario, called the case unprecedented, saying it's highly unlikely for 2 siblings who live together to vanish when a parent is not involved. This case, when you overlay it on 100 other missing children cases, it just doesn't add up at many levels. Now, this is my own personal opinion. There isn't any kind of evidence to support it, but I really feel like it was made sure of that these kids would not be found before they were reported missing. And I think that's why
very possible.
One parent left.
And that's where the 48 hours comes into play.
And isn't talking to anybody. And I think that's why the other one, well, the step parent has no problem being in the spotlight asking for help. Again, that's just my own personal opinion, but I really do feel like these poor babies are not ever going to be found.
Is it time to accept that Lilly and Jack are never going to be found and that this is going to be a cold case? When I tell you, this is the first thing I think about in the morning when I get up and the last thing I think about at night before I go to bed, and I know it is for many other people as well. It's really hard to accept that 2 children have just disappeared without a trace. And I don't think I'll ever accept that. Obviously, we all want somebody to blame for this. Whether that's through theorising whose fault
We don't want someone to blame. We just want the kids to be found, to be fair.
it is, or who's done something to them, or directing that towards the police over there, who maybe people feel haven't done enough. I truly believe that there is some evidence somewhere, whether that was missed or whether it's just not been found yet. I just wanted to come on and say that this is going to be my last post regarding Lilly and Jack for a while, unless there is a major breakthrough in the case and we learn of something. I will keep sharing their missing poster through my stories, and I will keep checking for updates for however long it takes. And as soon as there is one, I will share it. We all need to find some peace in that they are still investigating. They're probably not going to share anything unless they either find them or find something to incriminate someone. I hope that everyone understands that I can't just post for the sake of posting unless there is something to post about. I don't really want to come on here and speculate and theorise about what I think's happened over and over again, because it's not really very helpful and is not going to find them. We all want answers, and in the UK, I am not in any position to fight for those in Nova Scotia. I am a true believer in that lies do surface. So if there is anyone to blame for their disappearance, they will get caught.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good at this moment in time. Day 19 and still no sign of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Based on the information that we've looked at in this video, as well as our recent videos covering this case, I'm really compelled to believe that this is all done in-house. There was 48 hours of time that couldn't have been accounted for. The mother decided to leave the stepfather and move to a different part of the area. No contact whatsoever. Strange status posts on her social media account. Has the stepfather been played to cover this up? Or does the stepfather know what happened and out of love was involved in covering this up? Because either one would have had to have taken place if those kids can't be found. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to know exactly what you guys are thinking based on all of the information that we have run through in today's video. As soon as there's another update, I'll be here to let you guys know. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if we are newly watching. Turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on those updates or any other videos. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.